Hi guys, this is Pradeep. If you are going to join any migration project where already customer is using SAP, any version, so what will be your approach? How you are going to initiate the project or what will be your roles and responsibility, particularly in a migration projects? So that we will discuss today. So when you are going to join any migration project, particularly we are talking about the Brownfield implementation. So in Brownfield implementation, what will be your responsibility? What you are going to do here? So, like for example, let's say you must be thinking that what are the activities as a finance consultant I am going to perform? One thing you have to keep in mind when you are going to join any brownfield implementation or migration project, it's not one person's activity. So, as a finance consultant, you are not going to do everything. So it is basically the teamwork. That means the technical consultants will be there, both ABAP and as well as basis will be there, plus functional consultants will be there. So you are going to handle the finance migration or the finance stuff, and that I am going to explain. Similarly, logistic consultant, they are going to perform their task. But don't think that system will be ready as customer is currently using SAP and immediately we are going to upgrade the database or we are going to upgrade the software, and then after that we can perform certain things and the system will be ready or system is upgraded to S4. It's not like that. We have to perform couple of activities, and it's a as it is a proper project, so we have a systematic approach we have to follow, or we have to perform various activities here in the different phase. So that is why in the screen you can see that two phases are there. If I will segregate, this is SAP activate methodology. I will come to this point. So here you can see the preparation activity is there as well as the realize phase is there. But before that, first you have to make sure that some prerequisites are there. So that means your system should be Unicode system. So you know where you can check the whether the system is Unicode or not Unicode. So if it is not, if it is non-Unicode system, then the first project should be from non-Unicode to Unicode system. So after analyzing the requirements, the Unicode, non-Unicode system and all, then we are going to perform certain pre-activities. So that means right now still we are in the old system, whether it is R3 or AC system. And if you'll see this particular PPT, you can see here two phases are there. So one phase is your preparation phase, and actual and a second phase is our realize phase, or we are where we are doing the system conversion. So before coming to this realize phase, first analyze what are the activities we are doing from the preparation phase. Again, when I'm explaining this point, don't think that it is everything is as a part of functional consultant we are going to do. I'm just explaining from the team point of view. But when you are going to join in a migration project, so you should aware about all this. Maybe practically you are not going to do, but you should know, because in interview this type of questions may arise, or when you will be there in the project also it will help you. So first one is your system requirement. So system preparation point of view, we have to segregate this work into technical conversion or pre-conversion phase. So one is your technical conversion and pre-conversion. So if I will say that what are the activities are there under this system requirement. So this system requirement point of view, I can say our technical conversion. Then we have our pre-conversion. Then we have our another very important area, that is our data cleanup. Then all your closing activities. So these are the various activities, different reports, extracting different reports. So these are the activities we are performing in our system requirement point of view. So in system requirement point of view, let's take the first point, that is our technical conversion or something related to our data. Before migrating to SAP HANA system, it's very important we need to decide how much data we are going to take into the new system. So already as businesses, they are in SAP since last 10 years, 12 years. So they have huge volume of data is there, huge volume of data available. Now they have to decide how much data they are going to take into the new system. For that purpose, I can classify their data, whatever, let's say 1 TB data, just for example point of view. So if they have 1 TB of data, and those data I'm going to segregate into on the basis of their usage. So one will be your hot data. Hot data, I can say that this refers which are very frequently we need it, or in our operationally relevant data. That means our day-to-day operation data. So in this category, I can take 1 year or 2 years. Again, there is no standard answer like how much data we are going to consider as our relevant data. Business to business may differ. So somewhere maybe 1 year relevant data considered as relevant data, somewhere 3 years may be considered as relevant data. But business will take the decision how much data they need very frequently. So those data we are going to put it into our tenant database, or nothing but this we are going to put in our in-memory, so that very effectively we can utilize this data, and very effectively we can also utilize our database, our in-memory database, which is nothing but your tenant database. Similarly, next category will be our warm data. So warm data is neither never accessed or maybe rarely accessed. So sometimes maybe we want to keep this data, but sometimes maybe it is required. For example, let's say we received income tax notice, then now we need it. For rarely it is required, but on regular basis these type of data are not required. So those data we are going to transfer into system database. Because if everything you are going to put it in your tenant database, then unnecessary your hardware cost is going to increase. So that's why this type of data we are going to put it in system database. So whenever it is required, we can retrieve those data for our usage purpose. Third category of data will be our cold data, including your archive data. So this will be your cold data. So cold data means like it's no longer accessed during our normal operations. Maybe sometimes it is required, otherwise we don't need it. So this type of data we will put it, let's say, in big data. Right? So this is very important area where it is known as your classification of our existing data, which is part of our system requirement, or it is part of our this activity. Under this phase we are going to perform this one. Another very important activity in this phase, that is your we need to perform the data archiving or the data cleaning. We are saying that data cleaning. So data cleaning means here we need to analyze whatever the data we have in the old system. So how much data is relevant after the migration? For example, let's say we have so many open line items are there, or let's say maybe best example, we have so many open production orders are there. Like variance analysis done, everything, it's job over, but still these production orders are available in the system. Now we need to decide whether these production orders are really required or we need to close it. We need to technically complete it. So that is very important. Another example, if I will give lots of duplicate company codes are there. So again, those data definitely it's not required. So that need to be we need to clean those data. So that is again another very important area. So another one is your data archiving process. So before migrating to S4, so it is very essential that we need to take the we need to take almost all cares so that the data cleanup system data should be cleaned and your database should be archived properly. So here we are going to perform one task, right? So like how we will know that how much data or what type of data is required. So here normally we are doing, let me add one PPT here. For example, we have some data there and we need to ask with the business. So whatever the data they have, is the data still required? Is the data still required? If it is no, answer is no, then simply delete or deactivate. If it is yes, next question is, if it is yes, then next one is, can data summarize? If it is no, next question, deletion possible? If it is yes, then delete. Okay. If it is yes, means summarization possible, then summarize the data. If deletion possible, then delete it. If deletion not possible, in that case, data remains in database as it is. So this is very important task before taking any decision to take the data to the new system. Managing the data volume. Data that is static in nature, so those data no longer required for your business point of view, so can be archived easily. So those archived data can be accessed in SAP HANA. So till now we understood like what is the data volume and how we are going to deal with the data volume. Then your pre-conversion activities, the data cleaning process, data cleanup process. Then we have to also complete as a functional consultant the closing activities. If I will give you here example, let's say in ECC we are using the delta depreciation because of multiple depreciation areas, because in ECC we have only one depreciation area is real. So that is why you are maintaining the delta depreciation. But in S4, delta depreciation is not required. In my last video I already explained that one. So if you don't know those part, you may refer that video. I will give that link here. So in future, as all the depreciation areas are real depreciation area, so no more ASKB is required. So that means if any delta depreciation is required, that need to be completed here. Similarly, if the depreciation is pending, that also need to be completed, because in S4 we are going to use the new depreciation engine. So these type of activities which are in future is completely process changed, that need to be performed here under your pre-activities. That means till now the software is not yet upgraded, so we are just completing our cleanup process, or we are going to we are completing the old process. So that's why it is known as your old system activities, or you can say pre-system activities, which are known as your under system requirement. We are analyzing these activities. So that is another very important is the sizing. What should be on the basis once your data system is ready, or sorry, when you analyze all your data or your data is ready, then after that we need to decide as a technical consultant what should be the size of the new system. That means what should be the storage. Ideal. Here we can take the help of SAP sizing report. We should not go for very conservative approach, like after 2 years or 3 years again system upgradation is required, or we should not advise customer they should go for a very high-end system, and unnecessary project cost is going to increase. So this is one important area need to be decided by the basis, that is the under your system requirement or under system activities. Similarly, under this phase also we are going to prepare the technical and functional preparations, like your refresh the system with a copy of your production system, because anyway in future we are going to upgrade, or we are going to upgrade our production system into SAP system. So for a safety side we can also do that. Another very important one is readiness check. So this is the one tool. So this tool is going to analyze your existing SAP system, whether it is your ERP 6 or it is R3. So the highlights the important aspects of the conversion to your SAP HANA, like the identification of simplification items, the high level custom code analysis, all the add-on sizing I already explained. Here also we are going to use the simplification item check. That means here SAP, for every version, SAP is providing the simplification list. So as per the simplification document, or as per the simplification list, you need to decide in your maintenance planner what are the business functions need to be activated. The next question, what is maintenance planner? Maintenance planner is one tool which is going to check the system with regards to your business functions as per the industry, as per the add-on. For example, we know that in future we are going to work on parallel accounting. Not only parallel accounting, we are going to also work on the parallel valuation from the asset point of view. So make sure that that particular business functions need to be activated. So that also I will show you in the system once I will go to the S4 system. So manually it is not possible to track all your business functions or activation and all. So that is why this particular tool is very, very essential one. So in order to perform the conversion, you need to still activate all the business functions, although it is not our job. basis is going to perform that, but you are going to face the problem if any particular business function is not activated. So that is why it is the best option to use the maintenance planner. Next one is our sum tool. So if you'll come to this realize phase, here you will find one tool is there, which is your sum tool or software update manager. Now what is this? Software update manager, so this is going to look after your conversion process. So the conversion to your SAP S4 HANA, or like you can say the normal upgradation process, is handled by this particular tool. So this one is nothing but your software update manager tool. So if your system is not yet upgraded to SAP S4 HANA, so this sum tool will take care of your database migration, including your DMO. So this sum tool activities or this particular conversion follow-on activities are like after the technical conversion with the sum tool is finished, we need to perform some more activities like installation of Fiori. As we know that in S4 we have the Fiori option is there, whatever the version, let's say SAP S4 HANA 2022. So that is also required so that all our user experience or our users are going to get the new user experience. So that Fiori installation is also required in our new system. So up to this, it is like your preparation activities where we have certain activities are there. I already explained. This one is your system upgradation. So it will take some time when the sum tool will be applied and our old system is going to upgrade into the new system. So once the software will be upgraded, then after that you are going to have a new window or you are going to have the new IMG. So in normal ECC, we know the IMG. Now this is our EC system before upgradation. So I'm going to show you two systems. One is your EC system before upgradation. So here you can see this IMG, and after upgradation, this will be your system. So this will be your system. Now in this system, this new node should be there, which is your conversion of accounting to S4 HANA, where we are going to perform some activities. Now under this technical conversion, which we are saying that once the sum tool is applied or system upgraded, so far what completed? Sum run and technical activities completed. So it will take normally some like let's say 12 to 14 hours. In this phase, like the backup tables need to be created and all these technical activities are done. So all the conversions are completed, the nodes are applied. Then after that, now I'm talking from the finance point of view, as we got the new system, so all the FI customizations need to be completed. All this FI data migrations, or which is known as your conversion, need to be completed. So these activities, again, it will be part of our realization phase, realize phase that need to be completed in the new system. So as we got this new node, so that means up to this, our sum tool applied, the conversions completed, all the technical activities are completed. Then after that, we are going to perform here the FI customizing. All the FI customizing we need to complete, which we are saying that our delta configuration, because end-to-end configuration is not required. Already business is using SAP, so that's why only the delta configurations are required. Then FI data migration is required. I'm only talking about finance. Similarly, logistic people, they will perform their activities. So these activities we are going to perform in our new system under your realize phase. So software upgradation. So under this realization phase, in preparation phase, we have system preparation and technical and functional preparations. So initially I already explained all these steps. So in the realization phase, applying the sum tool, applying the required nodes, applying all the conversions, everything, and the delta configurations are required. So also once these configurations are done, then after that we are going to perform the technical post activities. That means post migration activities need to be completed. So what exactly we are going to do here under this new configuration? So I will take one example. So when a business currently using any system, so when you are going to accept the migration project, it can be anything. So for example, let's say business is there on classic GL, and from classic GL they are going to new GL. This is the old approach. Nowadays, although this approach we are not following. So this is your new GL migration, from classic to new GL migration. Then after that, your S4 AC doc A or your universal journal upgradation. So one migration will be there in year end. So this will be always in year end, and this one will be your period end. So that means when you are going to plan our configuration related to new GL, so this will be from GLT0 to FagleFlex-T, and this will be from FagleFlex-T to AC docket table. So here all the document splitting and all configurations will be there at this phase, and after that the upgradations will be there. So up to 1610 we are following this approach because that time we have some limitations are there. Whereas now you take the latest version, let's say 2022. So same example. So we are in classic GL. We are in classic GL, and from this classic GL directly we are going for the upgradation to universal journal. So we are going for universal journal, and this will be like all the new GL functions, whatever earlier it was there. So now that we are going to upgrade here, including your document split on your segment reporting. So everything, all features which was not there earlier. So no need to plan for 2 migrations. So rather we can go for 1 migration. So this activity I can segregate into 3 phases. So one will be our finance migration. Another one will be our customizing, or which we are saying that data model changes. Third one will be my credit management, which is a new concept here. Although in ECC it was there, but now it is mandatory. So that is why you can see here related to our Delta configuration, this credit management is mandatory. And again, why it is mandatory, in my previous video, I already explained all the new features related to S4 HANA. Now I got this new IMG, or this is my SPRO. So in this SPRO, you can see here 3 activities are there. One is related to my Delta configuration, then related to my data migration, and post migration activities. So let's take one example, like what we are going to do here related to our GL. Now when you are going for a new implementations, you are configuring end to end. Here it's not required, end to end configuration is not required, because already we have our organization structure is there, we have all our existing features, everything is there. Okay, new GL may or may not there, depends on from which version you are coming, but assume that it is there. So that means additional configurations you are going to do. So those additional configuration may be extension ledgers, maybe those configuration related to our currencies. So those additional configurations will be there. If you are migrating from the classic, then both your leading ledger and non-leading ledger also will be considered as your Delta configuration. So that is why if we'll expand this particular screen related to GL, here you can see configuration related to settings, you can see, which might be you are aware about all this configuration. So define our currency settings, which will be considered as our Delta configuration, migration of our general ledger configuration. So I'm not showing any configuration. I'm sure you must have an idea on this area. So you need to confirm this, your FICO integration point of view, these are configuration. So whatever the missing configurations we have, so that we need to confirm, that we need to configure. Not only related to GL, asset, material ledger. So all the Delta configurations need to be performed here. Once the Delta configurations are completed, then you need to check, let's say GL point of view, you need to perform this activity, which is known as your execute consistency check of general ledger settings. So in this setting, in this particular configuration, as I said, all these configurations, your configuration settings related to FICO integration, related to your currency settings. So I assume that all these configurations are done. Then your migrations related to, you have this option is there, that is defining source ledger and balances and all. So once all these configurations are done, then after that we are going to do our additional checks, which is nothing but analysis of your transaction data. So that also we need to perform. Documentation for your data migration, that we need to also need to configure. So those parts that you will find under this data migration. So it's not possible in a small video I can explain everything, but these are the phases are there. So all these configurations, your new migration monitor you are going to get, that we are going to complete. Now next question, why this we will get these errors, right? Or why this inconsistency will be there. For example, let's say migration of your asset point of view, migration of your chart of depreciation to new asset accounting. If these configurations are correct, then it will be completed, or it will be performed correctly. If any error will be there, so that we need to perform here. right? So like earlier we have the chart of depreciation old process, now we have the chart of depreciation new process. Earlier we have the delta depreciation, now we don't have the delta depreciation because all the depreciation areas are real depreciation areas. So each and every configurations in detail we have to configure, but again keep in mind end-to-end configurations are not required. Only we are going to perform the delta configuration, and there is no standard answer what is delta configurations. Now next challenge will be your you can say that is our error analysis, because irrespective of how confidently you will complete your configurations or you are going to do the data migration, so errors will be there. So that is another important area, which is navigating or analyzing all your errors related to your migration. So this it's a this in this system I can't show you, but because it will be coming from the project, but I have one screenshot you can see. So these are some data analyzed, or there are some errors are there. So if you check this column, you will find that means these are the activities completed. So related to GL, it's done. Related to GL cost element merger, because we know that in S4 we don't have cost element, it will be merged with the GL. So that is also done. So it's done. But reconciliation point of view, I can see some issue found. So this is my extraction report, and here we can see these errors are there. So next we need to analyze those errors in detail, because these are going to create lots of problem for our migration point of view. So in detail, so you can see all the functions are there related to material ledger, related to our production orders, everything is there, material ledger, production order. So this will, and this is not as like this will vary from project to project, depends on the configurations or depends on your analyzing errors. So if you double click on this particular error, you will get more details, you will get the detailed information about error, and that is going to again going to increase our job, because we need to work on those areas. This is actually the challenge. Next question is why we have these inconsistencies are available in the system. Like it should be smooth, as we have completed all our prerequisites, sum tool applied, additional configurations are completed, then why these inconsistencies are there? So you can't say that every system will be it will be a perfect system or a perfect software. So that's why even a system with a perfect software or all this configuration, so no one can give the guarantee that system is free of inconsistencies, because of multiple reasons. So a couple of reasons will be like inconsistency because of some like you can say corrupt blocks or some hardware effects, inconsistency because of any error handling, right? So like your maybe from user point of view, or let's say during this migration process some data entry posted, some technical glitch is there, or some error user activities are performed, so that could be one reason. Or let's say some customer report related issues or manipulation in the database, wrong migration process adopted, that is also can be one reason. Or let's say some data missed in the migration process. So that is why you like in every migration so far, in every project I have seen that inconsistencies will be there always in every migration. So, and that is actually the challenging one in every migration process. So that will be the challenge. As I said, if you'll see what are the challenges are there, the data like your inconsistency between the old system and the new system, or after applying the sum tool, after doing the delta configuration, so everything. So this error analysis will be there. So when you will join any migration project, that time actually you will get lots of errors, and that time your expertise will be there, because technical people, they are not going to resolve the error. They will give you the reports like this is our monitor, and like this is the this extraction, let's say you will get it from the system. So next your expertise is going to help you to analyze those errors, and these errors are not related to configuration error, because configuration earlier it was there and we are performing the business process. Delta configurations are completed. So here both, that is why we are like we always I suggest like you should go for techno-functional consultant, because this includes both your technical knowledge as well as functional knowledge. So this is how a migration project is planned. So I hope you got some idea how the migration project and what type of questions you will expect when you will have some interview from the migration point of view. If you are getting this type of questions related to data inconsistency, and you can predict that definitely there is a migration project is ahead and you are going to be deployed on that. If you have any questions related to, feel free to add in the comments. I will try to reply. Thank you very much. Take care.